Hey guys, TheSneakySnake here, brothers in arms, World of Warships, and today's video we're going to take a look into our next installment in our Tactics and Strategy series, and this one revolves around HMS Conqueror, the Tier 10 British battleship. I'm divisioned up with my friend from APOC 3FM and our buddy Rebel Knight, and they're playing in the Rune and Hindenburg respectively, the Tiers 9 and 10 German heavy cruisers. We're playing some domination on everybody's favorite map, Ocean. So the point of this video is to go a little bit in depth revolving the statistics of this ship, but I just want to let you guys know what exactly I'm thinking and also go over the positioning and basically try to explain to you guys how to get the most out of this extremely powerful but extremely unique Tier 10 battleship. Now, I understand that this ship is not generally liked by the community because of the way that it plays. The moniker that this thing received when it was first announced and the community contributors and the super testers were playing it was the Megazao, because what this thing has are some, honestly, cruiser-like qualities. You have excellent concealment, 11.8 kilometers to be precise, and you have some insane high explosive shells. These things have the quarter pen rule instead of the 1/6 pen rule, which is normal to battleships. And with that being the case, you have well over 100 millimeters of penetration with the HE shells. But not only that, you get 12 guns of the 419 millimeter variety, and to top it all off, they have an alpha damage strike, at least potentially, of 7,200 damage. These HE shells are absolutely ridiculous. And because you have 12 guns, if you throw enough crap at the wall, it only has a 1.8 Sigma value, which is still pretty good. In a range of 24.3 kilometers, you're able to burn down anything at any range. And because you have so many shells going in, if you manage to get one penetration, that's 2,376 damage. Oh, and might I add, the fire chance, stock, of 48%. So this thing really is a Megazao. You move into position in medium range, and you just spam high explosive. And what you can do with it is just farm so much damage. If you look at the top 10, the top 5, the top 1% of players, which I reside in, the amount of average damage that this thing is able to put out is just mind-boggling. If you thought the Yamato with the 18.1-inch guns was capable of dealing some serious raw damage, the Conqueror honestly takes it one step further. And because of the concealment, you can do so many things that cruisers are able to do, but you do sacrifice quite a bit, and because of that, this thing doesn't really have a battleship playstyle. It's so unique in its own right. Now, of course, the Lion at Tier 9 does have the same mega heal. It does have the same repair party, which I will get to in a little bit. But this thing is just so much better than the Lion at Tier 9. I have featured it on the channel before. Puddin has as well. I really didn't like playing that ship. It felt rather lackluster, to be honest with you. But this thing is absolutely bananas. Yeah, let's keep going on with this. Other things to note about the Conqueror, you only have 82,900 hit points, and you are covered almost everywhere, at least on the outside, of 32 millimeters of armor, which means that high explosive spam, specifically IFHE spam, absolutely wrecks you. If 152 millimeter gun to cruisers use IFHE, they are able to penetrate. 203 millimeter gun to cruisers and up are able to, without the benefit of IFHE, penetrate you. And if you get caught under a hail of fire from something like a Hindenburg or a Des Moines, it is really going to stack up very, very quickly. The ship does also have some pretty good anti-aircraft performance. A lot of it is in the medium range, and unfortunately, a lot of the AA mounts are right along the center part of the ship. So a lot of HE spam will deplete your anti-aircraft performance very considerably. So that's something to take note of. The maneuverability is still battleship-esque, 940 meters on the turning circle, and a rudder shift of 17.4 seconds. However, your speed is still a-okay at about 30 knots. So this thing, you know, is, at least when you look at it statistically, pretty good. There's not too many weak points about this ship. Now, what you're seeing me do here at the very beginning of the game is do what a Conqueror really should be doing, especially on a map like Ocean. If you've noticed, I've went in and out of detection every single time that I have pulled the trigger. I pick a target, I shoot a full broadside of, the crazy HE shells downrange, and then about after 20 seconds, I go undetected. And that's because, again, of the 11.8 kilometer concealment. Now, of course, something like the Zao has 9.7 fully upgraded, so it's not going to get that crazy. But this ship is capable of dealing some insane peekaboo damage. You're going to see right here, this next salvo at the Montana, you can see the damage counter at the top right. 12,200 is where I'm currently at right now. He turns just slightly a bit in. I only get 6 penetrations. I set a fire. And I deal over 13,000 points of damage. Any of these shells that hit the deck or hit the upper unarmored part of the side of the ship, they just penetrate and do ridiculous amounts of damage. It's absolutely crazy the amount of high explosive damage that you're able to do with this thing. And don't get me wrong, the armor piercing is really not that bad. If you get a Citadel, it is a flat 13,000 points of damage. But honestly, there's really no reason to use the armor piercing unless you're in close range. And another little quirk to note is that the high explosive shell velocity is actually better, 792 meters a second compared to 747 with the AP. So, getting back to the gameplay anyway, you can see here where my position is in A. And I know, I am shooting at rather long ranges, but this is just, look at that damage right there. 9,000 with another fire set, 6 more penetrating hits right on the rear section of that Friedrich der Grosse. And because of the high explosive performance, you can keep every enemy ship at a good arm's distance. And with that being the case, if you're able to keep them away because they don't want to get lit on fire all the time, then because of that, you're able to move in and get closer to the caps. But it's very difficult to do so, simply because of the way the heal works and because of the way that the repair works. So with that being said, I'm going to now explain exactly what you need to know about those two things. Alrighty guys, we're going to take a look here really quickly at the other tier 10 battleships, and I'm going to tell you why it is so important that you understand this. The damage control, or the repair as I call it, is active for 15 seconds on the Kurfürst and has a reload time of 76 seconds. The repair party 2, or the heal as I call it, is active for 28 seconds. You restore 634 HP, and it also has a reload time of 76 seconds. This is, of course, assuming that you run the premium consumables. And it's the exact same here with the Yamato, the Japanese battleship. The damage control is only active for 10 seconds on this one instead of 15 like on the Kurfürst, but the statistics for those are still the same on the heal. For the Montana, 20 seconds for the damage control, and still 76 seconds on the repair. However, with the Conqueror, it is a little bit different. The damage control still comes back in 76 seconds with the premium version, which is nice, but the heal, 114 seconds. If you use the stock repair party on any of the other battleships, it takes 114 seconds. This is the premium on the Conqueror and also on the Lion at tier 9. So you have a much greater time that you have to wait, another 38 seconds compared to the other tier 10 battleships. And if you decide not to use the premium, you have to wait a staggering 171 seconds for your mega heal to come back. Now, granted, the mega heal is, in some cases, over 3 times as potent as the other heals on the tier 10 battleships. But, yeah, you can see right there, that extra 38 seconds that you have to wait is very game-changing. Alrighty guys, we're getting back into the gameplay here. Again, I just wanted you to see visually how important that extra 38 seconds is, and how much it really does impact your positioning. Again, you have the excellent concealment to take advantage of certain positions that other tier 10 battleships wouldn't, but being able to not take way more damage than you need to, or outright die in that extra 38 seconds that you have to wait, is paramount to how much success that you're going to have in this ship, because trust me, that 82,000 hit points with the mega heal even will deteriorate very, very quickly. I'm getting ready to shoot my next salvo here, at least with the forward guns at the Friedrich der Grosse. He's at 9,000 hit points. However, he is going to take a pretty decent hit right about here. There we go. So then the Zau's fire manages to take care of business. Our team does pick up the first kill of the game, and it's 496 to 426. But as I say that, the enemy Hindenburg kills our Zau, very unfortunately. And then we're going to lose a couple more friendly ships here in the next couple of seconds, which is going to further reduce the amount of points that we have and give the enemy team a pretty comfortable lead. Now you can see here I made an about face once I got about halfway into the A cap, and now I'm going to try to make my way over to the B cap, because obviously we need to get over there. There's a couple enemy destroyers, at least a Shimakaze that is in the area. The Xian Yang is moving away from the B cap, but you still have to keep tabs on where those enemy destroyers could be at. And you can see I did load some armor piercing shot. I thought the Neptune might be playing a little stupid, might give me a broadside, but unfortunately for him, the team, my team that is, had other ideas and absolutely obliterated that guy. However, this is going to be the first example of the armor-piercing shot, and even at long range, you can still get some pretty surprising results. 5 pens and 1 citadel, 29,000 points of damage on that Missouri. I don't think he was expecting that, and that's one good thing that this ship does have, because people, are so used to a Conqueror slinging its ridiculous high explosive shot, is that sometimes you can catch people off guard with the AP and deal a little bit extra damage that you really shouldn't be doing. The friendly Missouri manages to take care of the enemy Missouri that I chunked down very heavily, which is really nice. You can see 9,900 points of damage dealt to the Yamato, and things are looking a little bit better for us. So a couple seconds from now, I'm going to go undetected as my bloom goes down, and with that being the case, we're now going to take a look at the minimap. Alrighty guys, we're going to take a look here at a minimap that I made on en.wowstactics.tk. This is a website that I've used plenty of times before. It's really nice because you can take a template for a map in World of Warships, and then you can draw on it, put icons and whatnot. It's really cool. Anyway, you can see that the majority of my team is centered around the ACAP. There's a Baltimore, a Yamato, a Moskva, and myself. My buddy 3FM is well to the west in G1. There's a friendly Akazuki, which just got on the BCAP, and then there's a friendly Habarovsk and Friedrich de Grosse that are off to the east. The enemy team is in the vicinity of B. There's a couple battleships and a trio of heavy cruisers that are over there. There's a Shimakaze that was last reported on the BCAP, but he is not on it. There was also a Xianyang last reported at D3, and then there's a Montana in E9 and a Hindenburg in D1. So the enemy team is consolidated. We've somewhat consolidated, and the fight over B is about to commence. Now, something that I did note right before I went to this minimap is that I'm not detected in the spot that I'm in. So, for visual purposes, you can see that there's that 11.8 kilometer detectability circle that I drew, indicated by the line, the solid yellow line that's on the map. So what this means right now is that, well, of course, the Shimakaze is not in the BCAP. I am undetected in this current location. So why is that important to know? Well, that tells me that both of those enemy destroyers are not necessarily near the BCAP. The two blue circles that I drew on screen are where, at least in this point of the game, where I was thinking that those two enemy destroyers were. The Xianyang, because he was last reported up there, and he might be trying to move into a position to maybe smoke the Yamato or the Montana up. And then the Shimakaze might be over to the east, because I figured that he'd probably be trying to go after the Friedrich de Grosse, since he is somewhat out of position. So, in this location, I can control the range and the pace of the combat. Well, at least I control the pace of the combat, because I can engage and disengage whenever I feel like it. And I'm also close enough to help out my friendly Akazuki if the Shimakaze were to come barreling in towards the BCAP and get detected. Now, the dotted yellow line circle that I drew is 13.5 kilometers, and that's if you take a full concealment build on a Monty, a Yamato, and a Kurfürst, you add it, all three of those numbers up, and then you divide by 3. That is the median for the concealment range on those battleships. Now you can see that the enemy Montana is within that. So if I was in a Monty or a Yamato or a Kurfürst in the location that I'm in right now, I would be detected. Something else to note, where I think the enemy destroyers are at right now, a good bit of that dotted line does go through the blue circle. So chances are one of those destroyers would also be spotting me as well. And it's very difficult to get a good guess on where an enemy destroyer is at if he is detecting you in your high-tier battleships, because the difference between his detection range and yours is so large that you have to kind of guess correctly at that point. So the Conqueror in this position, you can see, is clearly in an advantageous position. And with that being said, we're going to get back to the gameplay. Alrighty guys, getting back to the gameplay once again, you can see I shoot my next salvo, and I do get detected here. The salvo looks okay going downrange. The accuracy is a bit wonky on the Yamato. However, because of that, I only hit one shell on that guy. Now you can see, once again, I do get detected because I shot. The enemy Xianyang is in one of the positions that I was thinking that he was in at. He did move a little bit to the east. However, at this point, you can see that I am permanently detected. So that means that the Shimakaze is probably going to be straight off my bow, or where I thought that he was based off of what I drew on the minimap. Now, right there, 11,000 points of damage on the Yamato, and I set a fire with 6 penetrating hits. His fate has been sealed, and he is going to go down due to my hand, so that's very nice stuff. However, at this point, because I realize that I am detected, look at all of the shells that are coming in on me. I'm taking a massive amount of damage, and I immediately have to use my repair. So I have 15 seconds where I can't get flooded, and I cannot take fires. So at this point, I have to turn around because once this repair goes down, it's going to be the 76 seconds like usual, but I was also unfortunately forced to use my repair as well. And using both your repair and your heal at the same time is very unfortunate. You can see the repair time is currently at 1 minute and 5 seconds, but the heal is at 1 minute and 44. So I have just under 2 minutes that I got to stay alive here. I still have 49,000 hit points to work with, which is really nice. However, you're going to see here this hit point total that I have is going to get eradicated pretty quickly here. I shoot an armor-piercing salvo at the Des Moines, and I deal almost 10,000 points of damage, which is nice. You can see that I just get lit on fire yet again. One of the fires is about ready to go out, but all of a sudden I'm down to 28,000 points of hit points remaining. I'm still loading the armor-piercing shot because I think that this Montana is going to give me a full broadside. He does to get his full set of guns out, which is very nice for me. Some of those shells are falling in really nicely, and kaboom, a very heavy hit. 2 Citadels, 38,000 points of damage with the AP at about 15 kilometers, which is very nice stuff. You can see here my repair is ready to come back. I got 13 seconds left, but I still got to wait another 53 seconds until my heal comes back. And like I said, that extra 38 seconds that you have is oh so dangerous if you get a little bit too stretched forward. Now, I do manage a 9,500 point damaging salvo on the Montana and set yet another fire. However, I am going to make a very risky play right here. I'm getting the armor-piercing shot loaded, and I'm going to try to take a pot shot here at the enemy Ibuki. He is turning to the right, so he is providing me with the full broadside here. The shells are on the way. Hopefully I will be able to nuke this guy or hit him really, really hard. And the jury says 22,000 points of damage. Another solid armor-piercing salvo there with the Conqueror. And that Ibuki's fate has now been sealed. My friends should be able to take care of business. However, you can see here some shells are coming in. Luckily for me, I don't take it too much. I'm down to 6,300 hit points here, but as I get my next salvo of high explosive out, I'm going to hit that T key, and I'm going to use every bit of my heal. Again, 6,000, a little over 6,000 hit points that I had to work with right when I hit the T key, and just look how much hit points I am able to get back. Even though the Shimakaze is hitting me a little bit, 3FM does manage to take out the Xian Yang in that time as well. You can see that I'm able to get up to over 40,000 hit points back, which is really nice. I shoot my 2 rear turrets at the Des Moines going away. However, at this point, I now need to get out of dodge yet again. I managed to get out of the way of the incoming torpedoes from the Shimakaze, which is really nice. And I'm at 38,000 hit points, and I still got another 19 seconds until that fire goes out. So I am okay in this position. However, unfortunately for me, the Shimakaze actually makes a really good play, and he's going to get out of his smoke screen. So you can see here, I am unfortunately not able to get out of detection. Because I'm also on fire, my detection is 13.8 instead of 11.8. So I have to keep on running. I now have 3 fires burning, and I decide this is it. This is the last second. I can't wait any longer. I'm now going to use my repair, and I got 15 seconds until the repair goes out. So at this point, I'm just trying to run away as fast as I can, trying to get as far away from that Shimakaze as possible. But you can see here the high explosive shot that's rating in on my ship. Excuse me. Is just doing a lot. I'm down to 8,000 hit points, and I am probably going to die here unless I can get undetected, and that's exactly what happens. Now, I do decide to shoot again. I have the armor-piercing shot loaded once again here for this enemy Hindenburg. Hopefully, I'm going to be able to take care of business, but I have to still keep running away. I cannot afford to try to turn back and push into the enemy team, and I still have to wait another 33 seconds for my next heal to come back. So you can see here this downtime that I have that I just wouldn't have in any of the other battleships really does affect the positioning of this thing, because as soon as you start to get focused, you really do have to turn tail and run away. Going bow in and coming to a stop is something that you cannot afford to do. My next armor-piercing salvo, however, does go down range. I get a Citadel and a couple more pens. I pick up Confederate and high caliber, which is really nice, chunking down the Des Moines to about half of the hit points that he had. And now my next salvo is ready to go. He is still broadside. He is starting to speed up. I'm going to hit the T key yet again and get my next heal going, trying to take as much advantage of the heal as I can. Will I be able to get the kill on the Des Moines? Just a couple hundred meters too short. I don't know if that would have swung the game in our favor, but being able to take care of that radar ship certainly would have done our team a lot more. But unfortunately, I was not able to land the shot. You can see here, I do get undetected yet again because I have kited far enough away where I'm not within anybody's detection range. But at this point, the score is 477. Make that 420 to 973. It's only a 2 versus 6 at this point, and unfortunately, I aimed just a bit too high on the Des Moines, and I get a couple pens for a little over 4,000 points of damage. So if you're sitting here thinking to yourself, well, Sneaky, you're not really tanking the damage like a battleship should. You're not really getting in there and just soaking it all up. Well, you saw I had to get out of dodge as soon as possible. Again, I cannot explain to you, or I cannot make it so readily apparent how important it is that you keep moving in the ship. You have to play it like a cruiser. You cannot come to a stop, go bow in, do all that stupid nonsense that I see from the average Joe battleship player out there. You just cannot do that stuff. I got a high explosive salvo downrange at the Montana doing about 7,000 points of damage, which is really nice. But at this point, I have to keep running away. I still got another 50 seconds until my next heal is ready to go, which is nice. But unfortunately, the game is going to end. There's only 2 of us left alive, like I said. My next salvo is going to go downrange at the Montana, but the shells are not going to have enough time to get there, and the enemy team manages to get to 1,000 points. Alrighty guys, taking a look now at the post-battle results. 233,000 points of damage dealt to the enemy team. I did sink 1 enemy ship. I had 8 fires set and 5 citadels, 8 overpens, 69 pens, 6 non-pens, and 2 ricochets. I also picked up a Confederate high caliber, fireproof, and dreadnought. That is a very nice quartet of medals to get in any battleship. Taking a look at the team score, I managed to finish 3rd on my team. There were 5 of us that had 1 kill apiece, make that 6, excuse me, with my buddy 3 also getting a kill. But unfortunately, we just weren't able to take care of business on this map. And even though I think I played the Conqueror pretty darn well in this game, I utilized my heal very much so. I had over 200,000 points of total damage taken in this game, and I still had another 29,000 to go. Very unfortunately, we weren't able to win it. And I also had over 3 million potential damage received as well. I know I don't have the screenshot for that, but I do remember from the game. So, I mean, I was taking about as good as I possibly could have, and I still had an extra repair or a heal at the end of the game to be able to use. But I also hope this replay shows you guys just how important it is to understand how to position in this ship, because the mega heal is wonderful and all that jazz, but if you don't know how to utilize the repair and the heal and properly cycle through them, it can be very difficult and can kind of be a slap in the face because everybody thinks this ship is so ridiculously overpowered. Don't get me wrong, it is just about there. However, there is a way to take these things down pretty quickly with focus fire and, being able to spot them. A good destroyer player will still be able to keep a Conqueror spotted for a long time, so that's also important to note as well. So I hope you guys enjoyed this replay and this video. This is the Sneaky Snake for Brothers in Arms World of Warships signing off. Please consider giving the video a like, commenting on it, or possibly subscribing to the channel. All of it is very much appreciated. With that being said, guys and gals, as always, have a great day.